Welcome to your energy forecast for May 15th through May 31st, 2019 with galactic guidance. If you are new to me or my channel, I am Johanna Burkhardt. I am the Soul Shaman, and I'm super excited to be bringing you this energy update. And we're going to talk about the full moon because it does have a very large presence in this energy update. The overarching energy that is coming through for the next 2 weeks or so is one of balancing the scales, if you will, balancing the energy. So we have a lot of masculine versus feminine. We have a lot of mind versus heart. We have a lot of justice and karmic relationships kind of coming to an end and completing their cycle. There's a lot of energy of abundance and prosperity showing up as well. This is going to be a very highly emotional yet highly intuitive next 2 weeks or so. A lot of this does have to do with the full moon in Scorpio. It is a water sign. It is a highly intuitive, emotional sign by itself, right? So having this full moon over the next few days is kind of playing into that. But with this energy and this balancing of the scales and this karmic, if you've been following me or in my community, you know I've been talking about how I have been jumping timelines that run parallel to me. I'm not speaking of past lives or future lives. I'm talking about lives that are running simultaneously. And I've been jumping into these different aspects and different versions of my life and being given a broader perspective. And even being able to shift the energy and collapse that timeline and return that part to myself, to me. This energy over the next 2 weeks is really going to be one, and I really feel this is probably more over the next, I'm going to say a couple of days after the full moon, so a little bit into the middle of next week. This energy can at times feel a little bit like melancholy or a little bit of loneliness or sadness. There may be energies of grief or abandonment or brokenness. A lot of deep, deep wounding could be coming up from the past here. And this is really creating blocks and could cause a lot of blocks in your energy, especially around your heart center, right? This could happen if you choose to sweep this energy under the rug. If you choose to not allow these emotions to flow through you, which is what Scorpio is good at, and a full moon too. It's about rising those emotions to the surface so that they can be released and they can flow freely through you. Okay, so this is exactly what this energy is giving you the opportunity to balance out, if you will. It's not a time to sweep it under the rug. It's not a time to bury it or say, I already dealt with this. I don't want to deal with this again. This is absolutely a time to accept it, to allow it to flow through you, to have grace for yourself, just as you would with another person that would be going through something. Not only that, but we have these energy waves that are going to be coming through, and they are light encoded, and some of them are going to be more intense than others. They are triggering energy in the Schumann resonance of the earth, and really, I call it a sandwich. It's sandwiching us in. We have energy coming from both ends at times, especially around the moon and the peak of it. I've actually already been experiencing this. I usually tend to feel things about 2 to 3 days before the collective. And so you're going to experience or may experience nausea, headaches, waves of intense exhaustion where you just are like, I feel like you can't talk, you can't think, you just get knocked out, right? Those are the times when we need to honor our energy, honor our body, and allow for the cellular work that's taking place to happen. This energy is expanding us, opening us up. Some people may be even feeling their physical body almost like blowing up, right? Especially over May and June. You may feel like your energy is just getting a lot bigger. Maybe your physical body's getting bigger too. Not in a way of necessarily like gaining traditional weight, but you just feel bigger. You feel like you're bloated or carrying all this extra energy or weight. And what's happening is your energy field is expanding. It's absorbing the light codes. It's absorbing the information, the activations that it needs to, so that it can begin the integration process into your cells and into your being. This openness that's happening is also releasing what is not serving, that's flowing through. And this is why it's so important that when the emotions come up, when we feel the urge to cry or to scream or to journal or to just allow something to move through us, that we do just that. We allow it, because it is that release that makes space to receive. Okay. This energy also has an interesting flair of luck and emotion and abundance and prosperity and completion. There's a lot of things completing at the end of this month. And for some, they're going to be stepping more into their power because they've kind of closed the door on some stuff and they're done with it. And they're stepping into their power. They're becoming the creators of their own reality. They're shifting their energy completely. And in this, they're going to be changing their financial energy in a good way. They're going to be changing their emotional alchemy energy in a way of, they're no longer allowing things to be defined for them. They are creating their reality. You're stepping into that creatrix ownership. I am my luck. I am the commander of my ship, and I'm going to flow with this energy, right? And the full moon is really going to help with this, because it's really bringing in that completion energy, but it's also bringing in, I don't know, it's helping us to be humble and grateful and really step into that energy of everything is really good right now as it is. Even though I'm emotional, even though there's some things coming up, I can be very humble for the small things. And this is really important. And the reason why it's important is because this moon has an interesting energy of, you've been working towards creating something, right? And so for some of you, this is really going to resonate. You've been doing a lot of work. You have been investing in, you've been watering your seeds, you've been pulling the weeds in your garden, like you've been doing the things, right? You've really been tending to your creations, your energy, your relationships. And this is about to prosper. It's about to bear its fruit, to be collected and harvested. And I get the representation of the bee here, because the bee's been doing all the work, right? And it has a massive amount of honey, but it doesn't stop doing the work because there's a lot of honey, right? And this is where the humbling comes in, and the gratitude comes in, and the energy of this becoming my new norm, this becoming the thing that I ride the wave of, that I feel into. And that is, just because the bees have created all this honey, they don't stop working. They don't sit back and go, look at all the honey that I have, right? And then hoard it, right? They allow it to be a prosperous thing. It's a continuous flow of giving and receiving and giving and receiving and giving and receiving. And that's what true prosperity is. It's not hoarding from a space of fear. It's not giving because you don't feel worthy of having for yourself. And so it brings in this bee energy of really flowing with this newfound prosperity and balanced energy and humbling, grateful energy. It's really quite beautiful. It's really quite beautiful. The full moon is Saturday, May 18th at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when it will peak. Again, remember that 3 days before and 3 days after. So really we have about a 5 to 6 day window of when the moon really can affect our energy. And so be mindful of that. And when I asked what it is that we most needed to know during this time that was going to help us, it's just what the sign says. Love yourself through it, right? We have to accept where we are. We have to accept in order to receive, right? We have to accept in order to receive. So we have to accept where we are. We need to allow our emotions to run freely. We need to allow the things to come to completion, right? So not to judge it, not to go down the rabbit hole, not to be obsessed with the shadow. Be observant of it, allow it to flow, right? You don't need to be in judgmental of it. And through that process, we make space and we open ourselves up to receive. So unconditional love. I don't even like to use that word. I like to use infinite love. Accepting yourself in all of your forms, loving yourself in all of your forms, and loving yourself through it, and honoring your body. If you feel like eating, eat. If you don't, don't. If you feel like that you need to sleep more, sleep more. If you feel like you need to take a day to just be out in nature, then do so. Meditate and open yourself up to just be and receive what's in your highest and best with no preconceived notions, no requests other than having them blend with you, having them be with you and speak to you and open up to you. Like that's the very best thing you can do is just say, hello, I'm here. What is in my highest and best? What would you like to share? And that is what they're really wanting us to do during this time, to love ourselves through it, just as you would if your friend came to you and was going through a rough time, okay? So this is the energy that we are going to be playing in over the next 2 weeks. And just a reminder that we all feel energy differently, okay? Some of us will feel it more physically. Some of us will feel it before others, some not until much later, some not at all. It all depends on your awareness and your sensitivity to tuning into that frequency. And believe me, if you're not having any physical ailments, don't go looking for them. It doesn't mean anything, right? You just may perceive energy a little bit differently, okay? So we're going to end this with a quick transmission. So I'm just going to have you guys close your eyes. And if you're driving, please disconnect from this transmission at this point. And we're just going to have you take a couple of quick breaths. Just centering yourself. We have Mother Mary, Lady Nada, and Quan showing up, almost creating this beautiful trinity, this beautiful balancing of the energies. And I want you to just feel them surrounding you, you in the middle of this trinity, and feeling them beginning to connect their respective rays and energy all around you. Just seeing this beautiful light moving from Mother Mary to Lady Nada to Quan, and just seeing that transfer of energy beginning to take place. And then I want you to see the intensity of it and feel that alchemizing, all infinite loving, self-mothering, nurturing energy beginning to move through your energetic field, through the skin, through the blood and waters that run. Really penetrating in to the heart space, to the solar plexus and the sacral, and up even into the high heart, focusing on those 4 points. Really feeling this energy easing any discomfort that we may be feeling in our digestive system or stomach. Really reducing the inflammation, the pressures. In our system. Really bringing a peace and calm, beautiful grace over our energy. Really allowing us to tune in to that soft inner knowing, helping us to listen to our bodies, to our energy. Doesn't that feel amazing? Perfect. Before we close out, I see this beautiful golden spiral thread just beginning to move very wide and all the way down through the crown, through the third eye, the throat, connecting in through the heart, and then beginning to connect through and spiral out and back down into Mother Gaia, creating that balancing at the heart space of the mind, of the body, of the heavens, and of the earth. Really bringing that balancing into your heart space. Beautiful. Just take a deep breath. And allow all of that to anchor into you. We thank Mother Mary, Lady Nada, and Quan for that beautiful transmission of helping us to tune in to our own divinity, to our infinite love, and that beautiful grace and presence that exists within us. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.